Rainbow Six Siege is considered one of the most toxic games out there. So of course, there's going to be some bad apples that have truly cemented themselves as one of the most hated players out there. This is where today's video's topic comes up. I'll be going over the top 4 most hated content creators ever to be in the Rainbow Six Siege community. If you guys think I missed somebody, let me know down in the comments, and be sure to like the video, and let's get into the first person. If you played Rainbow Six Siege in the early days, you would know who number 1 is, and that is brah. brah was considered the most toxic content creator in the early years of Siege. So much that he was the very first console content creator to be banned for toxicity. Like, permanently banned. brah was a mirror main and came up with strats that even a silver in today's game would cringe from.
It's pretty difficult to put into words how disgusted I am, how depressed I am.
But let's be honest, you can't just get banned for having the worst strategies in Siege, or just not being good at the game, or 90% of the player base would be banned. So what made him so toxic was his carefree attitude to take his teammates out himself if they didn't listen.
Hey listen, this is how I'm gonna answer questions now. Who got a mic?
I do.
Alright, so listen, if you ain't speaking, you having mic technical difficulties, I'm laying your ass out. What's up? Drop him. Thank you.
Hold the hallway! Hold the hallway!
Oh, dude, they're shooting at me.
Hold the fucking hallway! I shot you, dumb.
The smallest things would set him off, and he was ready to TK anyone and everybody. In the early days of Siege, he was doing well for himself. Averaging over 3-digit streams, he'd get partner, become a Ubisoft star player, and even be highlighted at TwitchCon in 2017 partner spotlight. What was strange was not only would he be toxic in game, but even out in the community, he would talk to creators slash pro players in a very weird manner. What's insane is I even had my own toxic experience with brah when I was really small. One day back in 2018 to 2019, when I started streaming, I ran into him into a ranked match. He accused me of stream sniping, then he forfeited the game up 2-0, and his entire community came into my chat and hate rated me. They told me I was an awful content creator and would never make it. At that time, I literally had 2 viewers, and it was weird to see a big streamer that had a partner badge act like that. Only 2 years later, he would have everything ripped apart. September 2019, brah would be banned from Rainbow Six Siege. Any account he would make would be permanently banned for toxic behavior. So, where is he now? Well, in the following years, he would lose his partner badge and even his affiliation badge for a while on Twitch, meaning that he wasn't able to receive any subs and make any money off Twitch. His toxic traits and childish behavior would be the reason for his downfall as a streamer. If you go and watch him now, he's a lot calmer. It seemed like he was almost playing a character online that just took it a little bit too far for Ubisoft's liking. And instead of wanting to teach newer players how to play Rainbow Six Siege, he took it into his own hands to teach them the wrong way to play Siege. And this is why he was one of the most hated Rainbow Six Siege players. At number 2, we got E2Smooth. Now, why is E2Smooth so significant, and who is he? Well, E2Smooth is one of the silliest people I've ever seen play Rainbow Six Siege. Back around 2021, when COVID hit, the lockdown started, and TikTok came immersed and broke the scene. And this is where E2Smooth's character came into play. He had a 0.5 KD on a controller, but he was a high diamond, and then he would soon get champion, because a bunch of other content creators would start picking him up and playing with him just for the content aspect. And I gotta say, looking back at that time, it was truly really interesting and fun to be a part of all of that. Especially because one of my most popular videos actually was reviewing his gameplay and trying to help him get better. Overall, E2Smooth was a good guy when you got to meet the real him. But his persona and who he was on camera was a very egotistical, silly individual who just kind of sucked at Siege, let's be honest. And to make it worse, E2Smooth went ahead and bought a Zim Apex, which if you didn't know is an adapter that allows you to play MNK on console, which also if you didn't know, you can't play MNK on console, so it's an illegal device. And this is way before Mousetrap became a thing, so it was really revolutionary for this player that went from being an awful controller player to all of a sudden being somewhat okay and actually able to aim because he's on an MNK. So the hate just got 10 times worse for E2 Smooth. And if you go through any of his old TikTok comments or even his YouTube videos, it's all just a bunch of trolling. The dislike to like ratio is insanely negative. So E2 Smooth was just considered a meme, but everybody wanted to watch him. So where is E2 Smooth now? Well, this is probably the most positive person out of all 4 people that's going to be in this video. E2 Smooth is successfully playing basketball and football, and I think I've seen him stream here and there, but it seems like he's more focused on his IRL life since he is in high school and he's just grinding that out, which I gotta say, like I said, E2 Smooth is actually a really cool, chill individual outside of Siege. It's just something about Siege makes people turn into monsters almost, and people just care way too much about this video game. So I'm just glad to see that this is the most positive story out of anybody because he's the youngest person on this list. Next is a very short-lived creator in the Siege scene, and his name is Joil. Joil started exploding back around Ember Rise. Once Champion came out and was a brand new rank, he decided to start to try to grind for #1 champion on Xbox, and he did achieve it. But the way he achieved it would be exposed very soon after he started blowing up and making all these tips and tricks videos. But the problem was how he was doing this. So to give you some explanation, in rank 1.0, there was a weird MMR difference. Basically, a high rank player could not play with a copper player, but there was this weird loophole basically where a champion level player could play with 4 unranked players. Now, unranked has no MMR. It's all based on your previous seasons. So back then, what he used to do was he would get 4 people on Smurf accounts that were last season copper and really low copper, and he would play those 10 placement games with them. And then once their 10 placement games were done, he would get those same friends on different accounts to do the same unranked stuff. So what would end up happening, instead of him facing top champions, he would end up facing literal silvers and golds against all of his games to get the top champion. And the reason why I know this is because I was close friends with people who would literally help him do this, and I thought it was just some cornball stuff. The entire Rainbow Six Siege community in high ranking, everybody knew about this, and it was only time that his fan base would figure out what he was doing. So Joil decided to make a second channel and try to transfer all of his viewership over to that channel since he had around almost 20,000 subscribers at the time. Basically, he was going to try to convert into other games, and it seemed like he was just doing Rainbow Six Siege content just to grab the viewership so he can convert into other platforms. But that didn't work. When he transferred over, it just seemed like people cared less and less, and that's really not how YouTube works. You can't just do one game and then automatically convert over and think that you're going to get all that same viewership. So I don't know where Joil is now. I hope he's doing well, because at the end of the day, all he did was take advantage of a crappy ranking system, and he really didn't harm anybody, but he was one of the most hated people in the community at the time. Last but not least is going to be Minky RS6. This guy at one point was over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. He posted a lot of console gameplay, whether it was solo queue or 1v1s and etc. And a lot of you new gens probably have no idea who the heck this guy is, because he stopped posting around 2021. So here's the story. The reason why he is so hated is because there was a lot of leaks and a lot of DMs being said where he was DMing a lot of women in the community and some young teenagers, and that just wasn't a good look on him. Being a grown man and talking to 15 and 16-year-olds is just mad weird, and that was the reality of him. He tried to say that a lot of the DMs were fake, but a lot of the e-girls came out in the community and exposed him. So it was a weird situation, and I'm not trying to get demonetized, so that's really all I'm going to say. But if you're ever wondering, like, if you were watching him in the past and you're wondering what happened, that's exactly what happened. Recently, this last year or so, he tried to come back into me and AnFX's chat, and he tried talking to us and acting like things weren't, like nothing happened. But bro's a weirdo, and I just want to let you guys know that. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure that you guys like, sub, and comment, and let me know that you made it to the very end of this video just by commenting golden toes or something weird like that. I appreciate everybody who's made it to the very end of the video, and it really does help the channel. If you don't mind liking and subscribing, once again, it does help. Have a great day, guys. Thank you so much for watching.